28. Surah 28. I'm not going to read the very first part. I'm just going to read the portion. Surah 28, ayat 22. Surah 28, ayat 22. And we're just going to read the English. Okay? So, this is after Moses. This is his story. We all know his story, right? This is after Moses. It said that he reached a full age of maturity in this particular surah. And then this is when he was out in the town and the person did something and he killed the man, right? So then he's out in town again and the same man is called again and he's about to kill this man. And they're like, hold on, you know, Moses, you're trying to be a tyrant. So he fled. He fled the city, right? So this is right after that portion of ayat. And at the end of it, Moses said, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim, starting with ayat 21. He said, he therefore got away therefrom, looking about in a state of fear. He prayed, O my Lord, save me from people given to wrongdoing. Then when he turned his face toward the land of Midian, he said, I do hope that my Lord will show me the smooth and straight path. And when he arrived at the watering place at Midian, he found there a group of men watering their flock. And beside them, he found 2 women who were keeping back their flock. He said, what is the matter with you? They said, we cannot water until the shepherds take back their flock, and our father is a very old man. So he watered their flock for them. Then he turned back to the shade, and he said, O my Lord, truly am I in need of any good that you do send to me. Afterward, one of the women came back to him walking bashfully. She said, my father invites you that he may reward you for having watered our flock for us. So when he came to him and narrated the story, he said, fear thou not, well have you escaped from unjust people. Said one of the women, O my dear father, engage him on wages. Truly the best of men for you to employ is the man who is strong and trusty. He said, I intend to wed one of these, my daughters, to you, on condition that you serve me for 8 years. But if you complete 10 years, it will be grace from you. But I intend not to place thee under a difficulty. You will find me indeed, if Allah wills, one of the righteous. He said, be that the agreement between me and you. Whichever of the 2 terms I fulfill, let there be no injustice to me. Be Allah a witness to what we say. And then it goes on, and when Moses fulfilled his term, he was traveling with his family. Sadaqallahu al-Adim. So, when Imam Rahim Shuwaib, he brought it up and he said this Moses method. In this particular ayat, Moses actually did not go out seeking a mate. Right? This was not Moses's goal. Moses' actual goal was to merely please his Lord, right? He was actually, and he was open to any good. His dua was, oh Allah, send to me. I'm asking for any good that you have for me. Any good. And what he made his duty was to do good. And to be the one that's what he was known for. I'm going to just do the good. I'm going to water the flocks. I'm going to be this good thing, and I accept whatever good that you have to me. Well, when the good came to him, he was able to recognize the good, accept the work of the good, and then he received from his work a mate. So this is real life now. I tell people this all the time. Now, how many of you all knew me 3 years ago? Yeah, I can say 2 years ago for most of you all. None of you all knew me 2 or 3 years ago, right?
That's right.
I went to conferences. Went to work. I did all these kinds of things. I've been to a whole bunch of marriage workshops and all that kind of stuff. I was the one in high school even, right? I was in high school at marriage workshops. That's how serious I was. And I had it in my head, I was going to get married right out of high school. Let's do this thing because we Muslims up in here. You know, I'm going to be righteous. But nobody was beating down my door now. You know. And there probably may have been a few that were interested because I was engaged a couple of times and I've been married once. But in general, there was no heavy seeking of, oh, I need to marry her. I cannot tell you all the number of people now that if I said, today, I want to get married today, that it would be some people trying to get their flights and get to where I am. Now, I'm saying this, I'm saying this because it's not about me. I'm saying I'm the same person. I look the same. I'm not so conceited in my own thinking that I think that it's really me. It's not me. There's no way, if I'm the same person, I was doing other things, that can really be me that they're quote unquote attracted to. As a matter of fact, I actually found it when this started to happen. I was like, these people have lost their mind. I mean, old, young, I'm like, when a marriage has mutual interest. Now, is this mutually beneficial or are you just benefiting? I mean, let's be real. Once again, this is the whole mutual benefit also is about you understanding you. So one thing Musa alayhi salam is he was focused on him and what he was doing in association with his Lord. That drove him to a mate that they were mutually looking at some of the same things. So believe it or not, when you were talking about your childhood, right? You all had mutual interests because you grew with mutual interests. This is what happens. My dear brother Abdul Musawir and his wife, you are at 50 years, right?
55.
55. MashaAllah. They'll be 55 in February, right? Yeah. February, they'll be at 55 years. That means, once again, those are all, right? Imam Vernon, you all, that was still childhood. Therefore, their interests were developed together. So we ask questions, how do we develop our interests together, right? At younger ages, it has to be an intentional movement for our young people to actually develop them with mutual interests. I mean, we have to actually do that. For us now, know your own interests. You know, I find to have interests, and not just to have interests for yourself. I'm saying have interest for your community life. And I don't mean just a little bit of interest. I'm saying make it fervently so that your life and your death is seeking Allah, and I promise you they come in groves. On different levels now, and then you have to be willing to accept those that come to you, because you're just asking Allah for the good. So, you know, and I don't literally mean everything that just comes to you, because once again, I mean, some of the people, I'm like, I mean, you're retired and you got grandchildren my age. Some of this stuff is ridiculous, you know. So you gotta weigh these things for the mutual interest. But I see the Moses method in effect with my own life. To the point of now is that I can sit back and I actually can choose a mate. Very sincerely so. Of very, very qualified people. And the only thing that has brought them to me, some of them I have been in their midst before, and they were not interested in me. The only thing is for them to see my benefit to this community. That's it. I can't even say it's quote unquote, because many people have degrees, we have all types of things. It is sincerely not just the thing, it is truly the benefit to this community specifically. When they see that benefit and that value and that worth, then that is the thing that attracts people. So when we're looking at this idea of mutual interest, now I'm looking for someone who is, they're looking for someone who's mutually interested, right? Mutually interested in this community. And that level of faith and regard for this community, it does bring out the best in people. It brings out the best choices, right? The best movement for mates. So, as this evolved for me, because now I had to take a step back and really ask myself, my interest in this community, I now have to select a mate that, although I have my personal movements, I really do, my focus is to say I have to select someone who has a mutual interest that is truly mutual. So I think this is what, Imam Vernon, when you talk about the reason that people get married. Some people are interested in me not because they're mutually interested in me. Some people are interested in me because everybody knows my name now. Status. There you go. Right? So this is what you'll get now. It's no way you're interested in status. And my mother puts it, she says that's interest in your wealth as well. Not physical wealth, right? Not money wealth, but your wealth in who you are, that becomes the interest. Now, right? There are a few that may want to say beauty, but I'm going to be honest once again, I look the same. So it can't be beauty. I'm not saying I'm like an ugly duckling or anything, but I'm saying that I'm the same physical person, so that the light that they may see, that is a light of faith. That's not my light, right? It's nothing in the physical beauty. So then it made me have to come back when we're thinking about this mutual interest, that I really have to come back and individually, you would have to come back and say, what are truly my interests with regard to Allah? That he said, Aneesah, this is you. This is what you do. And then your mate has to complement that. Now, there have been those who I really am interested in, but not sure if they would complement the interests that I have. Truthfully so. This is being sincere and really being willing to let it go when it's not truly a compliment. And this is all of us. I mean, all of us. We get in situations and you're talking to people and you know in your heart of hearts that the interests, what they about and what you about, you know it ain't right. And you like, but it's kind of like, I mean, she like open to praying. Like not close to it, So that's one of those that your interests have to be based in saying that I really, really am focused on Allah, and Allah send me the good. And then when the good comes to me, I'm still focused on that good, and that's the good that I accept. Not the other way around. Oh Allah, I'm seeking a mate. And then you get this person, okay, they kind of fit some of those, so I accept the mate. I did that the first time. I mean, when I was married before, I did that. I followed that pattern, and I said, everybody's a good person. Yeah, it's a bunch of good people out there. I really do. Now, this is the other side of that in mutual interest. I have to decide what I'm going to say today, now, and what I'm going to say tonight. Because I've heard a lot of people, old or young, talking about this idea of marriage. And some people say they don't want to get married again. I talk to my mother all the time. She's married now, and she says, boy, if I'm ever not married again, let it be known I'm done. Right? She said. And I'm a big promoter of and letting her know that that's not the thought process. I know that's what we do, but that cannot be the thought process. Is that you have to seek it all the time because it's not about you. Man, it really isn't just about physical children, and it's like the whole, every time, even when I was flying on the plane, the people who are flying on planes, they are there based on industry. The most people, the most traffic on planes, the most traffic in the world is all based on industry. That industry is driven by family life. I mean, if you're not having a family situation, just a whole family environment, it drives the whole industry. It drives the industrial life. That's your first reason for industry, is the family producing more children and having more needs. So it's bigger than you. You have to know that it's bigger than you. That's all I'm going to say, because I'll start talking about what I'm supposed to talk about tonight. And I don't want to do that. So let me go to one other ayat, 3 and 103. I don't think